Guys, you will not believe it. This cheesecake was made in a blender. It is so delicious, so creamy. Stay tuned. Okay, so as I mentioned before, this is made in a blender. So you'll need a good blender. You'll need a half cup of Greek yogurt. I'm using low-fat Greek yogurt. You can use whatever you have. It doesn't really matter. I'm using 1 1/4 cup of cane sugar. I have 2 8-ounce packets of cream cheese, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 4 tablespoons of flour, 2 eggs, 9 ounces or 3/4 of this can of evaporated milk, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And for the graham cracker crust, you'll need a Ziploc bag, one that's durable. You'll need 2 packets of graham crackers. I'm using 4 tablespoons of melted butter, a rolling pin or anything that you can use to pound the graham crackers, a tablespoon of sugar, and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Y'all, the nutmeg is a game changer. You have to have it. You'll also need a 9-inch non-stick springform pan and another pan filled 3/4 the way with warm water. So if your blender is like mine, it's not the best. So in order to have everything incorporate easier, you want to add all of your wet ingredients to the bottom of the blender first. So that'll help it emulsify better. And so I just added my 9 ounces, so 3/4 of this can of evaporated milk, and I'm adding in my 2 eggs. Now I'm adding in 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. The better quality your vanilla, the better this will taste. Now I'm also adding in my 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. You can use fresh squeezed lemon juice. The concentrate is also very good in this. Now I'm adding in my 1/4 teaspoon of salt and my 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt. I think the Greek yogurt and the lemon juice is what sets this cheesecake apart. It makes it a lighter cheesecake. It's not tangy, but it is it's not as heavy, and that's what makes this really, really good. Now that I have all of my wet ingredients at the bottom of the blender, I'm going to blend it up so this way it's easier to blend in the cream cheese. Now I'm adding in 1 1/4 cup of cane sugar. I like to mix it in before I blend it. And then I'm also going to add in my flour. This is definitely 2 tablespoons, but I went back and added an additional 2 tablespoons. So a total of 4 tablespoons of flour. Now I'm adding in my softened cream cheese. I set these out for about an hour or 2 just so that they're not super cold and they're easier to blend. Every so often I pulse the blender just so that it's easier to blend and it doesn't get stuck. Now I'm adding in the second 8-ounce block of cream cheese. You want to do them one at a time for a smoother consistency. So this is where I went back in and added an additional 2 tablespoons of flour. So again, a total of 4 tablespoons of flour. Now that that's all nice and smooth, I'm going to set that aside and prepare the graham cracker crust. So in my plastic bag, I'm going to add in all my ingredients. So I have a tablespoon of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 2 packets of graham crackers, and 4 tablespoons of butter. I added the butter in gradually, so that ensured that all of the graham crackers were covered. Right before pounding it, I made sure I released all of the air from the bag. This is the fun part. If you're stressed, grab a rolling pin and just start beating the heck out of the graham crackers. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to take the leftover butter. I'm going to drizzle it on the pan and just rub it around. And then I'll add in all of my graham crackers and use a back of a spoon or a cup to lay all of the graham crackers down flat. After flattening it with my hands, I went back with the cup and I formed edges around the pan. You don't have to do this. If you prefer your crust to lay flat, you can do that. But I like crust going all the way up on the cheesecake. Now that the crust is ready, I'm going to put it into a 425-degree oven for about 5 minutes just to get it going before I add in the actual filling. So this is how it looks after 5 minutes, nice and toasted and brown, beautiful crust. So for the pan that has the warm water in it, you put this at the bottom of the oven so that way as the cheesecake is baking it doesn't crack. And so now I'm adding in my filling. Initially I thought it was too much filling, but you want to add all of it because as the cheesecake cooks, it goes down in size. So you want it to coat and cover all of the crumbs. The last step is to bake your cheesecake. I baked mine at 250 for an hour. You want to be extremely careful when placing it into the oven. You don't want it to spill over. An hour later, the cheesecake is ready. You want to set it aside and let it cool off until it's completely cool. And then you want to put it in the fridge for at least 6 to 8 hours. I put mine in overnight and it was perfect the next day. So this was the cheesecake the next day. It popped right out of the pan really easily. Again, this was a non-stick pan. All I did after this was I added the sliced strawberry. Guys, this was amazing. I've made cheesecake a lot in my life, but adding that nutmeg and the Greek yogurt just made it extra special and it was so yummy. And there it is, guys. I really hope you try this recipe. Oh, it's so amazing. You'll be asked to make it for everybody's birthday. It was delicious.